All right, coming at you, room C330. Noah, sitting across from me with this piece of shit computer is Josh. Josh, what the hell are we talking about?
Time travel and its implications.
Why are we talking about time travel?
Well, it's kind of been talked about for probably Einstein.
It's because we're looking for clickbait.
Clickbait is also a big talking point.
All right, what do you got? What's on your mind? What's on your sheet?
I really just had paradoxes and stuff, but you see time travel in forms of media. I think
Of course, you got your classics. You got your Harry Potter. You got your Men in Black.
Was Star Trek before Back to the Future? Those are
depends on the Star Trek episode you're talking about.
The very thought of time travel in Star Trek. I've never seen any Star Trek.
I've never watched any Star Trek.
I just saw it on one of the websites, so I was like, oh, Star Trek was used. All right. Well, Star Trek's probably used.
We're uncultured.
We got Doctor Who. That's a big one. It's probably the biggest one.
Yeah, probably. Not American culture-wise, I guess.
Yeah, there's 9 different Doctor Who's actors.
There's 12 different Doctors, 12? I believe.
It's irrelevant.
The most recent one was a woman. That might have been the 13th one. Anyway.
I think that was the 13th. Anyway.
Why did they go to a woman? 12 guys, then feminist
social
movement?
Justice.
Social justice. All right, that's fine. We can respect that.
The SJWs got Doctor Who too.
Oh, okay.
The latest victim.
I guess they deserve it. That's allowed.
I think more women watch Doctor Who anyway. The trend might be more women are starting to watch Doctor Who.
That's okay. Women can be powerful. I'm comfortable sitting back seat. It's whatever. It's not because I can't drive.
I feel like a Doctor Who woman, or a woman being the Doctor Who, that doesn't overstep on anybody. That's not on anyone's
I think the show is dying out with the most recent male Doctor anyway. Maybe this is gonna help it out. Maybe it's not.
The feminist Ghostbusters didn't help anybody.
No.
They're making a second one of that, I think. I don't know if it's a male version.
No, the new Ghostbusters. Have you seen the trailer for it?
No, I haven't.
It's the kids find the old car in their garage, and it is, I believe, Bill Murray's character's granddaughter, because she just got the car in his will or something, and now she has the Ghostbusters. What do they drive?
It's a car.
It's a car, but I don't know if it was a specific model.
I don't think it's known.
Volvo station wagon something.
I don't think it's one of those.
Whatever.
It's irrelevant. Dan Aykroyd though.
Not with the fucking, what was it, whiskey or tequila or something?
Yeah. Vodka.
Vodka? Oh.
Skull vodka.
Some sort of alcohol in a skull-shaped glass.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about time travel anymore, but maybe we should. Because that's what we promised at the beginning of this.
Yeah. We're talking about its implications here too, so
So that's kind of like the butterfly effect. What would happen if we went back? What little inconsistent thing could we possibly change to do something? What if we stopped the Kennedy assassination? Where would we be today?
I don't know if that'd be that important.
So, do you think time is just
Wasn't Kennedy's term almost over anyway?
I
he had
have
a year
no
left.
idea.
No, I don't really think we need to look that up, but
we need to do better research. We promise we might eventually, but it's only episode 2.
It's episode 2.
It's episode 2.
It's episode 2. I don't know. What would you change? What's the first thing you would change?
What would I change? I have a time machine.
Past or future? I guess future.
Well, what am I going to change in the future? It's not happened yet. Unless it has, depending on how you time.
Personally, I think
Hang on.
Yeah, you go.
Hang on. So I got a thing. So when we look at the stars, we look at other planets, we are seeing them as they are 4 billion years ago, because that's how long the light's taking to get to us.
Yeah.
So from our perspective, it's 4 billion years ago to them, and if they're looking at us, it's 4 billion years ago to them. So is that time travel? Am I looking into the past? Or are we not counting that as time travel because that is happening at the same moment here as it is there?
I think that's a subcategory of time travel.
Subcategory?
Time.
So it's not the time travel we're talking about in popular media or anything.
No, of course not.
But it's you're looking at the past. Does it count?
It goes into Einstein's relativity thing a little bit.
I had no idea what Einstein had in mind with relativity.
Well, everyone just thought time was constant, and then Einstein was nah, it's relative because
Because what you're seeing
it's different
over there,
to other people. Yeah.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the whole butterfly effect thing. What am I changing? Who the fuck cares what I'm changing? Most people would go back and kill Hitler. I don't think that would change anything.
I don't think it would change anything.
Because
Nazis were already brainwashed, and they would have carried out the regime anyway.
Probably. No, like if you kill baby Hitler before the thing happens, the Nazi Party still existed before he took it over. But
he just radicalized them.
Yes, he radicalized them, and like one dude who got butthurt in World War One and then came back to his country and was just like, this is shit. Everybody's poor. I'm burning my money.
Kill the Jews.
Kill the Jews. Anybody else could have had that thought. Don't know why he did.
Stalin had similar thoughts. He just said, kill a lot of my own people.
It was over a course of many years, though.
Yeah.
Stalin had a lot of power for a lot of time.
That's not your final.
That's my plan. That's just what everyone else would say.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people would say. They think it'd stop a lot of things, but then there's that thing.
Would it really?
Then there's that thing in the X-Men movies with that professor dude who turns into the blue Beast guy. Beast, I think they just call him Beast. Anyway, he's just like, well, time is a constant flow. No matter what you do to it, the same thing's going to happen. It might just be in a different way. You can throw a pebble into it and make a ripple, but the stream's going to correct itself and the same thing's going to happen anyway.
That's the grandfather paradox.
Grandfather paradox? Yes. Whatever. So the same thing's going to happen anyway. So if I change anything, is it going to matter?
Let's say that the properties are that it does matter.
So it does matter. When I do...
If we change the rules of time.
So you're saying, like, not following the grandfather paradox.
Not following.
As you have spoken it.
Back to the future rules.
Back to the future rules, you can change things for the better. You know, if everyone in the world was a communist...
it would work.
It would work.
This isn't communist propaganda, this is...
So I'm thinking, like, everyone gets an equal share, everyone has the same shit, everything's fine. The government's gonna get us for this one.
Yeah, man.
Episode 2, we're gonna
shut down. We're shut down. This is
what we have at this point, four videos up on our thing.
Yeah, that's about right.
That should be what we have. Well, it's been a good run. Anyway, if everyone in the world, I don't know at what point we started democratization, communism, all that radical stuff. Whatever that point is in time, I'll research it, I'll find it. We'll change it to that. Just one universal communist country.
Yeah, maybe you could be like, you could set the precedent in like the Indus River Valley where they like have merchants.
Yeah, Mesopotamia.
Yeah, Mesopotamia.
We'll go back to them.
Yeah, and just like set up a communist system.
So, hang on, is my time machine, assuming I have a time machine, can I also travel through space? Like, can I, like, because if I time travel right now, I'm gonna end up probably in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
If you go that far back?
Yeah.
If you go a certain...
go too far back.
Let's say you have, like,
because I can't just
something that flies.
Okay. So
like you can kind of see what you're going.
Well, that's gonna fuck with some people unless I got some invisibility too. Because like if they just see something flying through the sky.
Let's assume that's not an issue.
Maybe that's where the gods came from. Time travelers. Maybe.
So you want to go to install communism?
I want to go install communism.
Okay. I got you.
But like everywhere, so
pretty
it works.
Ambitious.
So it makes sense.
Pretty ambitious. I like it though.
And then I'll come back and see that everything's gone horribly wrong.
I think it was in high school or something. It might have been middle school. We played like some matching game where like they showed you what the government system like what it did, but they didn't tell you the name. It was like a flashcard type thing. And whatever the one was for communism, I didn't know that communism was like that's the Russians. That's bad.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this would work.
This makes sense.
This would work.
In theory, it's great, but no one's ever tried it.
Yeah,
on a large world scale because capitalism.
China's kind of doing okay. Are they fully communist?
They're not fully communist. Like they can say that they're fully communist, and yes, they kind of.
They don't adopt the like
system.
The Marx.
Yeah, it's not fully equal.
What I would do with time travel, do you know that?
Because I didn't ask.
I don't know. You had to pause.
We were in the middle of nothing. Anyway, Josh, what would you do with time travel?
Oh, thank you, Noah. Do you know that party Stephen Hawking had a few years back for time travelers? Yeah. I would go there because that instills hope for people in the future.
You know, at the beginning of this podcast, I was going to be like, hey, if time travel exists and somehow we get in on it, this should be our first stop.
What, at Stephen Hawking's party?
No, here, right now, in room C330, 2:20 a.m., February 16th, 2020. So, how about 2:25 a.m. if suddenly we appear, unless there's some rules in time travel in the future that we don't know about and we can't see it. So maybe that's why we're not going to show up.
They'd know it.
They would know. Hopefully this will be posted somewhere and we can watch it again and be like, oh my god, I was late, we gotta go back.
We can just keep talking and act like we are ourselves.
Yeah, we could do that, but I think that's an easy giveaway.
It is an easy giveaway. Then we talking like 2:25, like
a.m. Like 5 minutes from now.
Like phone time or like?
I'm looking at my laptop.
Alright. It's 2:21 now. My phone was on it, so we're good.
Okay, we're at 2:21, and we're probably not going to show up, but that's okay. We're not intelligent enough for that.
We don't expect to be significant enough for that.
This is a bit that's been done hundreds of times.
Yes, never works.
But maybe we just got to keep doing it so it does work. But anyway, time travel. What are you doing with it?
I'm going to Stephen Hawking's party.
Stephen Hawking's party, like, it's not going to change anything.
It wouldn't change anything besides instilling hope in future people, and it'd just be kind of cool to be like, yeah, I'm the guy that went to Stephen Hawking's party.
You can instill hope, but then there's also the person who'd be like, I need to go back in time to win the lottery. You know,
I wouldn't be
Biff.
that.
You're going to be a Biff?
I don't want to be a Biff.
You don't want to be a Biff?
No one wants to be a Biff. Get the hell out of my car, old man.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing?
My favorite one-liner from that trilogy. I don't think anything would have happened. Like, I'm trying to think religious perspectives too. Like, if Jesus didn't die, like, I think that'd be bad for society. Actually.
Let's go meet Jesus.
That'd be cool.
or a letdown.
Or a letdown.
This Jesus guy is way less like interesting than the Bible makes him out to be.
Man, they were lying the whole time.
He's just a really chill dude. You know.
Looks like that guy from Tame Impala.
Yeah, you just get the long hair with the beard. He's wearing a robe.
I think that guy's
questionable ethnicity. Maybe he's white, according to all these Europeans, but it made more sense for him to be an African American.
It really did, or at least like.
Well, I guess he wouldn't be an African American at that point because they don't. He doesn't live here. African.
Middle Eastern.
Something.
He's the Aladdin. Aladdin body.
Something like that. All right.
Jesus, Aladdin, here we are.
Jesus, Aladdin. Did he have a magic carpet? Was Robin Williams a part of his deal?
Do you think so? Is there an item you think that could be brought back to a certain time period that would like change the course of humanity?
What do you think the most important item to bring back could be? Do you think you should bring back like medicine or something? Do you bring back weapons? Is there a certain civilization you should have saved with a certain item?
Out of civilizations that like we definitely know about, I'm not talking like Atlantis or anything.
No.
I don't think any of them were really significant. Like the Spartans were cool; they had a cool setup, but they would have died out eventually.
They would have died out anyway, because they wouldn't have given up their shields and their spears.
Yeah, they sent their 12-year-olds to go hunt in the woods for like wolves.
Hey, go kill a wolf.
Yeah, just do that.
We're gonna dip you in wine. If you cry, we're gonna throw you in the river.
Yeah, none of that's really good foundation for society. I don't think I'd save any of them. I'm trying to think like.
You think it's better off that everyone just died?
And yeah, I guess. I always try to think about like when I'm watching a movie with like what I think is a bad special effect. I'd be like, man, what do you think people in like the 1800s would think about this?
Oh my god!
Like they might have a heart attack or something. They wouldn't really know what to do with it.
What was it? War of the Worlds, that radio podcast?
Yeah, everyone
was freaking out by what they heard someone talking about.
Which at the beginning,
what was that? The 20s?
That was in the 20s or 30s,
yeah. Maybe. Like, if people were freaking out about it then, like go back to the 1700s, 1800s when movies are first coming out, change that.
Yeah.
Or like the hologram of Michael Jackson. You can make holograms now of people singing their old songs in Vegas. Like you can pay to see those shows. Just
those are
have
cool.
one of those machines set up, make it look like there's a god, because he's transparent. You can't touch him.
You could do like a prophecy type thing.
Yeah. Everyone would freak the fuck out.
Do one of like the Beatles.
Yeah.
In like the 1600s.
Steal all of their songs.
What do you think they'd think about music? Like 1600s, what do you think they'd think about what we view today as music?
You know,
I think they'd like it.
I don't think they would like it because it was all very.
Do you think we could find a clique though that would like it? Like how there's people that like certain cliques today. Do you think there were like some emo kids in like the 1600s that like?
I don't think emo could be a thing until the music came out.
That's true.
Like everyone was listening to really chill flute, guitars,
good vibes,
simple string. Nothing was fast. Nothing was upbeat. Maybe you had some drums, but nothing.
Nothing too in the way.
Yeah, nothing too musical. No one was really thinking. There were some minstrels going around with some fucking little string.
Those are
things.
called not
guitar.
sitars.
Not a sitar. I don't think it really matters what it was called, but I'm mimicking a thing with my hands, and you know what I'm talking about.
I do,
and that's all that really matters.
It starts with an M, man.
Mandolin?
Mandolin.
It's a mandolin?
It's a mandolin.
Alright, we're gonna say it's a mandolin that I'm pretending to play and call it that.
Have you seen that game? It's that one medieval like fighting game. It's on PC. You can be a minstrel with a mandolin, and people have been playing like really crazy songs through it. Like Through the Fire and the Flames, someone did that on a mandolin in a game. I just think the internet's impressive.
It really is.
What if we gave the internet to society back then?
I don't think they'd have the satellites for that.
Yeah, we need a lot of infrastructure.
There's gonna be a lot of hoops to go through.
A lot of hoops
to give these people what they need. So we're just gonna leave everything the same.
Like bringing back like a phone is useless. There's no service. Bringing back a computer, same problem. Electricity might have been like a fun gag for a little bit until it died. They'd be so bored of it after it was dead. Like, oh, well, that was something, I guess. But
so like, what do you think of like these old pictures you'll see? You see like people with like cell phones
in like
or
the 60s or something.
60s, you got like the hipster looking dude in the 40s, like looking at bridge being built, but he's wearing sunglasses and like cardigan. Verified photos.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think they're fake. Yeah.
How do you explain those? Are those people time travelers?
I think it's wrong. Just like a bad timing for a picture. Like maybe he was itching his ear, and that was that. Maybe he's like a weird dresser, and he just itched his ear. Because I think
maybe that was the mentally insane patient that escaped his hospital and found his way into a crowd, and he just looks like that because he's weird.
So, like, I think if you were a time traveler in those eras, you wouldn't be that careless to pull out that and wear that, unless you were like in a desperate situation.
He was on a mission, man. He was going back to stop the assassination of somebody, because he clearly succeeded. Because nothing happened other than that picture.
That's right.
Somebody important got saved. Who was it though? We'll never know.
We will never know.
Because what have they fixed already, Josh? Because time travel clearly exists in the future.
That's true. The world could be like society could be gone, and we wouldn't even know.
Yeah, maybe that asteroid you were talking about, maybe it hit us in a different reality.
But we have all the time travelers of the future come together and like
they were like, no,
whisk it away.
That's not okay. And they went to the future, different dimension, got the technology.
This is some interstellar shit.
Got rid of shit.
Seen that movie?
I did, but
it was kind of complicated.
It was.
The picture dimension. No, it's the bookshelf dimension.
Bookshelf dimension.
Irrelevant. Oh, do you ever see those videos that people will post and they'll be like, have their voice changed and their face is all done, and they're like, I'm from the year 2035, and thank you for sitting down with me and talking to me, and let me just show you some pictures. And he holds up this picture, and it looked like it went to the washing machine. It's just this blurry white
This is what
photo.
the future looks like.
This is New York City in 2035. Look at it. Take a good look.
Sir, this is drawn in crayon.
He started the video I watched, he started talking about like his friend that died in the program or something, and he's like, it's really hard for me to bring this up, but my friend, he died. That was it.
That was the end. 2035. I could tell you plenty, but my friend, he's dead.
The guy who's like filming is just like, yeah, your friend, man.
So, of all the media that surrounds time travel, what do you think is the most realistic way that is portrayed? So, like, you have Back to the Future, you go back, you can change some things, but, like, if you don't make certain things happen, you'll disappear, you'll stop existing, or you're not really into Harry Potter. But
I've seen like
have you seen the third one?
Prisoner of Azkaban?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
The time turner thing?
Yeah.
So like what has already happened has happened, but your future self fixed it, so there's basically just a loop.
That's what I think. That's how I think.
That's how
it
you
works.
think it is.
Like Back to the Future style. I think the grandfather paradox is like, it's not open-minded enough to think about something has to happen for the first time. I mean, I guess there's some sort of logic to it, but I just personally think that the Back to the Future way is the more, I don't know, maybe dreamer way to think about it. That it is possible to go back and change things.
So you're saying like you can go back, you can change things minutely, but then like ultimately it's gonna have the same result?
No, I think you can go back and change it however, like through the butterfly effect method.
Oh, okay, so everything's going to change.
Everything can change based on your actions.
Yes. How extreme, because I know the butterfly effect of course comes from like, if you kill a butterfly in the past, what's going to change in the future?
Yeah, that one book.
Do you think how easily, like, you know, if I go back and like take a breath, that oxygen's no longer there, something else doesn't get that oxygen in the future, fire doesn't burn because of that oxygen, something, how little does it have to be, or how big does it have to be to make a difference?
I think like, so I'm sure you remember it. I think it was in a lot of middle schools that it's called the butterfly effect.
Yes.
I think, and like the guy steps on a butterfly.
Yeah, because they go back in time to like hunt dinosaurs or some shit.
Yeah.
They're all big game hunters.
It really catches your attention.
They
as a
have
middle
millions
schooler.
of dollars for some reason.
Yeah, and like he steps on a butterfly because he walked off the path, and like there's color or something missing, or spelling's weird.
Yeah, he gets back in time, gets back to his time, like all the spelling's off, and like
because that species went extinct or
the
something.
wrong guy's in charge or something.
I just think that's dumb. Like on that level, like I get the butterfly effect. I just think that's
not the way that would.
stupid.
Yeah,
because like if they were in like prehistoric times, wouldn't that butterfly have died in the like extinction anyway? Butterfly effect.
You know that butterfly was just so important to its species.
I guess I don't know.
The way I always think of the butterfly effect is like, okay, so the butterfly dies. Suddenly, the animal that eats that butterfly can no longer reproduce because it doesn't get fed. Then its genes don't get passed on. That one dies out. What we eat,
we have no food.
we don't have any food. Can't fertilize things. Nothing gets pollinated anymore. And then it's just all the end.
I just don't know if that could come from something as small as that. But I guess that is the logic behind it.
That is the logic behind it. One little thing to a bunch of big things.
I think that would be too prevalent if we had time travel. Like people would go back with these ideas to change events and stuff, not really considering anything past the event, and they'd be like, so if they kill Hitler, for example, other things would occur. There'd probably be other regimes that rise up. Maybe the US gets too big for its britches and is like, yeah, you know what, we can't do this. Japan was already a problem.
Yes, it was.
During that, they could have had more power. Who knows? Maybe they'd partner with Russia, because Russia doesn't care for us.
Well, I think Russia was going to turn on us if we
Right.
hadn't dropped those bombs.
But they got attacked.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
What else you got? What else you got on that list?
Oh yeah, what do you think of that? How do you think time travel
How do I think it works?
most realistically works?
I think it's kind of like the loop thing in Harry Potter. You do something, but because you did it, it had already happened, and then it's just one big loop.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know if you watched the movie or paid too much attention to it.
I've seen it one time.
Or whatever. So like, originally they like think that Buckbeak, the hippogriff, has been killed, but they literally didn't watch it. They just saw Pumpkin get chopped down, but literally they had saved him earlier, technically. So time was just all parallel to each other.
Okay.
And there's just one little loop.
So yeah, okay, I got you. So they think they had to do something because they thought he was dead, but they
But
actually
they had
themselves
actually already done
saved
it.
him.
But like the rule is you can't see yourself.
Yeah.
Which is a dumb rule to me. Like, can you... Yes, you can go back and like tell yourself, oh, don't do this, something else is going to change. But then like, there's the paradox that you've told yourself it, so you're not going to do it. So your future self didn't need to come back to tell you, so your future self didn't exist anymore because you stopped yourself.
Yeah, and that, I don't know if that's called a paradox of sorts or something. I don't really know. But
It's a contradiction. Because if you lived through it, you made it to the future, you knew to go back and stop yourself from doing it.
so then I think that timeline just cut off and then you changed
well,
the
hang
future.
on.
Yeah.
But like, if you get back to stop yourself, then you stopped yourself, and you never needed to go back to tell yourself not to do it.
Yeah.
So then the future self never existed, so you end up doing the stupid thing. Does that get caught in a stupid loop?
That's where the paradox comes
I
in,
know.
I guess.
It's mind-bending.
It is. And I think that we are just not smart enough. I don't think humans are smart enough, not necessarily just us.
Well,
we're not either.
Us for sure.
Us for sure.
But
Humans aren't smart enough to figure stuff like that out. I was actually... Were you confused by the Marvel version of time travel?
A little bit, but like I kind of got it.
I got it as the movie went on when like Cap went back.
Yeah.
But like when they were actually saving the world the first time, I was like, how do we do this? How are we doing this? And the Hulk was trying to explain it, and I just don't know if I could take that.
I think they made it just confusing enough for everyone to be like, whatever, they're doing time travel shit. Let's just watch the movie.
It's Marvel. Just leave it be.
But yeah, like, I don't really get how old Cap got there, because he would have been in the ice for that amount of time that he was with Penny, whatever, Agent Carter.
Yeah, so like he would have had to go back and stop him from being in the ice.
Well, no, he wouldn't have stopped himself from being in the ice. I think he was in the ice.
Oh, he melted himself? Is that what you're saying?
I think he was in the ice, and he himself just stayed there while he was in the ice. And then he kind of...
Oh, yeah, I think that is what they did. Yeah.
Wouldn't it that make
That
more
makes
sense?
the most sense.
Like, we need to watch that movie again. I've only seen it twice.
I've seen it once. It's just too long.
Like, it is a long movie. It's a good movie, but like,
it's just
I gotta
a lot
go
of ups
back.
and downs.
I gotta go back for the finer details.
Yeah. It's a little blurry.
Yes.
But I think that is what happened. I think you're right. What do you think the likelihood that they're already at, like...
You think the government's got the lock on this?
Yeah. What if they're hiding it at Area 51?
Do you even know what Area 51 is?
It's an Air Force base, mostly.
It was, but do you know what all the areas are?
No, I don't.
Okay, so like, literally just nuclear testing for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Areas like 1 through 13, I think, were literally just nuclear tests.
Okay.
And there are other areas, 1 through 51. Then there's past that, but anyway, earlier just nuclear testing, and they marked them as areas, so no one would go into them because of radiation. All in Nevada,
Makes sense.
New Mexico,
Good intentions going.
all of that area. But yeah, for them to be hiding in that Area 51, technically an Air Force base, I don't think it makes a lot of sense.
Are there any other like weird government bases that are like? I guess we wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure there are. It's the government, man.
Shout out government.
Oh yeah, I forgot this is our last podcast because we're not going to be allowed to post anymore.
This is our last one. We shout them out. It's like us surrendering kind of.
Hey, we get it.
We know you're watching.
If I get disappeared, it's okay.
Speaking of the government, they didn't like Fidel Castro, Noah. Do you know why?
He's a revolutionary. Probably a communist, right?
Yeah, he was like
dictator.
He's a radical communist. Yes. There were 634 assassination attempts on Fidel Castro, and he lived to be 90. They were trying to kill him while he was 85 and no longer the dictator of Cuba.
Yeah, didn't like Clinton try and kill him at one point, and then it didn't go well?
Every president tried. Reagan tried the most, I think. He had like 128 attempts on Castro.
Well, Reagan had to fight communists, man.
Right.
Tear down this wall, Mr. Gorbachev.
That's right. And Cubans believe that Castro had a magic mailbox that would tell him when bad things happen. So was Castro the first time? Not the first time traveler, but one that we can prove almost.
You know, I think we just really sucked at killing dictators at this time. Because he's not the only one we continued to fail at killing.
But, like, it wasn't just the CIA that was trying to kill him. The KGB tried to kill him. Other bigger government agencies like that had tried to kill him in the past. And
I think everyone just sucks at trying to kill dictators. We suck at trying to put in dictators. We suck at trying to take them out.
Just
killing them, not killing them. What are we really trying to do?
The Reddit thread that I was looking at for that talked about how like after like 2 assassination attempts, like that's pretty lucky to survive that. Gandhi was dead on the 3rd one. Lincoln was dead on the 2nd. JFK on the 2nd. And like if you live past like probably 4 attempts, you're really doing good for yourself. This man had 634.
Well, you gotta think about how many times like the president is almost killed. but like the Secret Service finds out about it. Like I think I think Clinton was in some other country and there's a bomb on a bridge and they heard a certain code over the radio and they're like, oh, that means that there's a bomb there, we got to take a different route. They found the bomb, he didn't die. So like, how often are we stopping things?
I think Donald Trump had the record amount of attempts, and they're probably really half-assed attempts.
Yeah, I'm sure, but like somebody still thought about it. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't like a whole government agency or anything, it was just some guy in his garage with a gun.
But these ones are all by the government. That's insane.
Yeah.
I guess I think it was 2010 before he died, he was supposed to give a speech somewhere, and this man's like 85 years old at this point, and they found like bombs under the podium that he was supposed to speak at. Like they're trying to kill off an 85-year-old man who's just giving a speech.
So this magic mailbox you got, is it like from the future or like...
I think it's...
So are these letters coming from the past and telling him, hey, this is gonna happen?
Interesting.
So like, the Back to the Future
Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's like, hey...
We've been holding this for 50 years.
I got this letter. The Doc's alive.
Could be something like that. Maybe it's like maybe future Castro is in the past and like just writing letters to Castro to himself.
So like 90-year-old Castro is just like, hey... January 17th, don't...
What if Castro found the secret to life, too, at that age? What if he didn't actually die, and he's, like, found the youth it, and he's back telling himself how to live?
Well, it was in Cuba, or Florida. It was in that area. Who was it? Ponce de Leon? Or
I don't know that
Columbus, or whatever. Found youth, they were looking for the found youth. It was somewhere either in the Cuba, Florida area. And maybe he did. Maybe dictator of Cuba, he's just like, oh... Found youth. This belongs to me now. I will never die.
It's a little out there, but I mean, you know, I think the one I just suggested, where he like his old Castro comes back, that's against the grandfather paradox, because if he didn't know about the assassinations, he would have died.
Yes.
So that kind of contradicts that. But if we're not going by that, because we don't really buy into it as much. You know, maybe we're not smart enough to buy into these things.
You ever watched the movie The Prestige?
I have not, no.
Okay, it's about these two magicians. They have this like amazing disappearing act, but they're like competing against each other. Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale.
Good cast.
Spoilers. In the end, it turns out Christian Bale just had a twin, but Hugh Jackman did not have a twin.
So he was legitimately doing it.
He was legitimately disappearing, but every time he disappeared, he was creating a second one of himself. But then he had to kill the other one for some reason. I don't remember exactly why. Just so he didn't have a bunch of himself wandering around out there.
Can't have that. It's bad for public image.
Maybe Castro had another bunch of selves out there to get killed and be like, hey, mark down the date. Don't do this, because we died.
If that's true, you know how good the Cuban government had to be at covering up the endless deaths of Castro?
Well, you know, he's like you said, like, he lived through it all. He watched all of them die. And then he went back in time, wrote the letters, and was just like, hey, don't do this.
Don't be there.
You're gonna get shot. There's a poison dart.
Was Castro just blindly accepting this person's warnings?
Yeah, he's like, oh.
By the way, it's from
That's how he stayed in power for so long. He's just like, oh, this worked once. Let's try it again. The first letter, he's like, oh, this is a bunch of bullshit.
Flipped a coin.
Flipped a coin. She's like, we'll trust it this time. We'll see what happens. Then, like, somebody else got shot in his place. It's like, oh, shit.
That was my other Castro.
Like, yeah. Got anything else?
Precognition dreaming. That's what I had.
Yeah.
Like, you were trying to talk to me about deja vu earlier. I was wrong, apparently. What is deja vu exactly?
What is deja vu?
Yes.
It's the feeling that something has happened before.
Okay, so
like
I was right.
You experience a sensation, but do you know why it happens?
I do not know.
Neurologically, you create a memory, and like it gets sent to your short term, typically. But for deja vu, it bypasses the short term, goes straight to your long term, and then it comes back to your short term, and you feel like you've felt it before, but really it just bypassed your short term memory the first time.
Okay.
But anyway, this precognitive dreaming sounds like some future telling leaves in tea kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's not just deja vu. It's like advanced deja vu.
Advanced deja vu.
So people will dream these like really vivid dreams, and they'll remember them, unlike other dreams when you wake up. And like they'll be really clear, like crystal clear. Like your uncle's gonna die due to this at this date in this place. And like people have actually prevented car accidents and like placement and stuff like that. Like instead of being here where something bad happened, they were warned otherwise. And it's just interesting how it works, because no one really has a way of explaining why that happens. I guess it's kind of more of a curse than a blessing though for a lot of the people that have it, because they can't always stop the things from happening, because they either don't buy into it or it's supposed to happen.
What do you mean by it's supposed to happen? So it's like
it was not preventable. Couldn't prevent it.
Ooh,
I couldn't find an example.
Like
there was an example
or something like that.
I think it was a disease.
Just like, oh, you're gonna get diagnosed with this, yada yada. There's no real treatment, but like, hey, I know you have it.
In the couple stories I read, actually, the people that have this disorder or whatever it is, precognitive disorder, it never happens to them. Like they never see themselves in the dream. It's always people they know.
So it's either they trust you and they don't end up dying, or they don't trust you.
Yeah, like it's not for their own benefit, which is why it's kind of a curse. But not to be selfish.
So like, if you could go back in time, like, or go forward in time, like find out when you die, do you?
I don't think I'd want to know.
You don't want to know?
I don't think so.
I'd like a time limit.
I'd like maybe like
what do I need to accomplish? And when do I have to do it by?
Did you see that movie that came out last year? I think it was like these people in the movie downloaded an app, and it would tell them how many days until they died, or tell them the time that they died, and like it would count down, and then they actually died at the time. I didn't see the movie, but I don't know. Interesting.
A lot of these movies we haven't seen, they're just like, hey, did you see this?
No.
I know about it, but
we got to get a list together for these things. Then we'll make like a guide in like a year. But you said you'd want to know?
I would definitely want to know. I like having constraints.
Would you like to know how you die?
I could deal with that.
Unpreventable.
It like definitely wouldn't change how I like went about the day. Like if I know I get stabbed, I'm not going to avoid knives.
Let's say you get in a car accident in like...
I don't drive.
You're a passenger. Let's say in 13 years to the date.
13 years... February 16th, 2033, 2:48 a.m.
Like, what do? You can't even prevent it. Like, that's just how this probably works, I assume. What do you, can you even do it?
So you're telling me it's a car accident. I can avoid being in a car for a day.
Can you avoid, like, encountering cars, though? I mean, if you, like, huddle up in your thing.
Could be in a building.
Someone just GTA ramped into your apartment.
Middle of the building. Bank vault.
Okay.
I don't know, something like that. Like there are definitely preventable things, but it's just like, oh, you die of cancer. Oh,
I think we need a better version of that movie that came out.
Probably.
Where this tries to occur.
Want to go write the script?
I guess Final Destination is kind of that.
You ever watch One Missed Call?
Yeah,
I've seen this movie actually. I'm not talking about anything that I've never heard of. Anyway, you get a phone call and you hear how you die.
Okay, like a voice tells you?
No, you
hear the death.
Yeah, like if you got hit by a car, you hear honk honk, boom. Or if you like get crushed by metal pipes, you'll hear a bunch of clinking, and then the phone will hang up, and you're like, what the hell was that? And then like you'll be walking outside one day, hear a bunch of metal clinking, and suddenly you're crushed by metal pipes.
That'd be a more like realistic and like, well, not realistic, but
no, incredibly realistic. We're talking time travel, buddy.
That'd be harder to avoid, I think. You know,
what? Avoiding sounds?
Like maybe it's not clear what the sound is.
Yeah, exactly. So when you tell me like, oh, you want to know how you die, how vivid is this description of how I die? Is it just like
short 2 or 3 words?
Such as what?
Whatever. Like I said, car accident. It just says car accident.
Okay. If I'm just avoiding motor vehicles generally.
Maybe it doesn't give you a day. Maybe it gives you a year.
Well, we already talked about if you know what day you want to die.
Yeah. I just don't know if the situation's gonna come up.
Well, really.
Once again, we're not smart enough.
We're not, no.
You know there's a time travel expert, self-proclaimed guy.
Oh, there's gotta be.
Time travel expert. Hotline.
Give me a number.
So what about these scientists that like study these things that are like just theories? Like, do you think they're wasting their lives?
one day somebody's gonna figure it out.
That's true.
And
And these people
like,
are gonna
be like, oh my god, I didn't waste my life on this entire thing. It's like, didn't you though? Well, no, because if they figured it out, you should go back, give yourself the information. Unless this person has a very specific set of rules. It's just like, I can't go tell myself beforehand. There's no going back. There's only going forward.
Top result: contact a travel expert. Maybe they can help us.
I need a good travel agent. Don't we all?
Do you have anything else to add? Implications? We kind of covered that, I guess.
That's true. Or really implications, unless you're just talking about what would happen.
After talking about this more, I like your communism idea because you're trying to create a butterfly effect.
Yes.
You're like installing a butterfly effect.
I'm going back in time to know what I want to do, but it's probably not going to work.
But if it does, like, you would never get credit, and I think that sucks.
Well, if it does work, I've probably never been born. Which is back to paradox things, like I couldn't go back to tell myself to change the world because I wouldn't have existed to go back and tell myself to change the world.
Think about that, like, I hate to think about it, kind of, but say like a child was conceived like 2 hours later or something. Would a different like sperm gotten been in place of you?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like if I was had 2 hours later or conceived 2 hours later, would I not even be here?
Yeah.
That goes through my mind more than I think it should.
Wait a second. 1 second too fast or too slow. I was fucked.
It's a big job.
Yeah,
having kids.
I must have worked really hard for that. How many of my brothers did I have to kill?
Or beat in a race. Who are no longer with us.
We the quickest.
That's the true Hunger Games.
Happens in the womb. Well, that's time travel, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
This has been episode 2.
Of?
Oh yeah, we have a name for this thing.
We missed that in the last one.
It's Blindside Podcast, everybody. You don't understand why it is, but we kind of do.
It'll eventually.
Maybe we'll explain it later.
But for now.
Because we definitely didn't forget to name our podcast in the first one.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to like re-listen to it to really catch us.
To notice the fact that we suck at this.
It's 42 minutes. You guys don't have time for that, you know?
No, it's definitely not going to be 42 minutes. It's going to be a solid 26, but...
Whatever it ends
up at. You'll know before this one comes out, and maybe this will get cut, but...
Yeah, maybe this won't even be in there.
I'm probably going to put it in there anyway.
Outro music?
Outro music.